Hey YouTube, in this video it's time to go infinite. We're going Link Joker infinite style. So in this one, I put together the infinite deck. In playtesting it's just kind of like a for fun deck. It's another way to revive the break ride stuff. So in some of my other videos, I showed how I built decks like Evangeline and Jewel Knights, how I didn't really use the break ride because I didn't feel like it was a good fit. Because typically the goal of those type of cards is just stride that same stride unit as many times as you can. So the break ride is kind of irrelevant. At that point, you won't have a grade 3 in late game to break ride into, usually. But the way they made some of these Virus Collection stride units is some of them actually really seem like they do go with the break rides. The Bad End Dragger one is a really good example. Transcore one is also kind of a good example. So I put together Infinite one. Infinite one is based off of the Infinite Zero Dragon. So a card that has not seen play for a long time now for Link Joker, but it had been a really good break ride. Back in break ride format, Infinite Zero Dragon was arguably one of the best break rides just because it was pretty much mandatory in like every Link Joker deck out there at the time. Link Joker, those who wonder, Link Joker came out when break ride format was really underway, and it really started making break ride a thing. I mean, before Infinite Zero, there was really Gancelot. There was the Eradicator one, which was kind of not that good. There was the Dauntless Drive Dragon, which was pretty decent in the time back in the day with the N. And then there was the Himiko in Genesis, and then Ashley in Jewel Knights. So Infinite came out when Mordred came out in the trial decks, and yeah, he's pretty good. So for Infinite Zero Dragon, what he does when you break on top of him, choose a rearguard in the opponent's back row and front row, lock them, and your Vanguard gets 10,000 power. No counterblast, no nothing, just straight up does all that stuff. So very good. He's been teching with lots of different builds, with Nebula Lord, with Chaos Breaker, with Glendios. I mean, you name it, he's been there. One of the best versatile break rides there is, and he's a Star-vader. Next, I am running 4 Dark Zodiac. So Star-vader, Dark Zodiac, he's Legion, gives them access to throw back their triggers into the deck. On a really strong break ride turn, and then Omega lock stuff. So you can potentially lock 4 or even 5 units for a total of Counterblast 2, him plus the starter, which is Dusttail Unicorn. So literally just like break ride, lock 1 front, lock 1 back, then he will use his skill to lock 1 other front and then 1 other back, and then this guy can lock the remaining things, so you can lock 5, then Legion, then Omega lock everything. All 5 things are Omega lock. Pretty good. Doesn't happen that often, but the play actually exists, so that's the reason why we run Dark Zodiac with Infinite Zero. For grade 2, 4 of Dark Zodiac's Legion Mate, he can help you search for a card Vanguard Circle. Next, I'm running 4 Star-vader Cold Death Dragon. This is in here because let's say the opponent plays smart against you, and all they have on the field is their starter or some random grade 1 and grade 2 in one column, and that's all they have. So basically, if you break ride, you can lock those 2 things. Then you can call this guy down, counterblast 1, and then like force them to put the top of their card face down, locked. So yeah, Cold Breath Dragon is pretty good for that reason. He can mess up columns, he can force like triggers to the field, all that kind of stuff. So my favorite one is when he like top decks a heal trigger onto the field as locked. I mean, that's like the best one. But yeah, 4 of him because he's pretty good, surprisingly good. People seem to underestimate this guy. They think that he only works in Glendios, but he can work in a lot of other decks. And then 1 Companion Star-vader Photon. So I took away my Blaster Joker. The other 4, the trial deck ones of these are in my Chaos Breaker deck that will get upgraded in the near future. But my extra one, my Legion Rare one, I just teched him in here with infinite. So I have 5 rear guards that can potentially lock stuff. So he can lock for free, just any existing thing. And then this guy locks from the top of the deck. So, and then 2 Radon. Just has extra 12k pressure card things. So hit numbers. So it's a grade 2 lineup. It's pretty good. At least I think so. For grade 1s, 4 perfect guard. Doesn't matter what perfect guard you run, just make sure you run 4 of them. 4 clear out Star-vader Burrowman. Burrowman, this guy is meant for infinite basically. So what he does, he's the new Fires Collection support card for infinite. That's a rear guard. So what he does is retire him at the end of the turn. If you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Star-vader in the name, and your opponent has a locked card, you may retire him to search your deck for 1 card with infinite in its card name, write it as rest, and shuffle your deck. So nice thing about this guy is, let's say you used either the Stride, I'm trying to think here, what was the combo? Yeah, let's say you used the Stride guy at the end of the turn. Very similar to the Spike Brothers stuff, where it forces out the break ride. So you strode him, then it's the end of the turn. So what he can do is he can force a break ride, infinite on the end phase, and lock 2 of the opponent's stuff. So yeah, because it's an auto. It's a break ride effect. So very similar to Bad End, getting extra attacks and stuff. The only difference is this will get extra locks, and it happens at the end of the turn. So yeah, you could potentially like lock. If you lock only 2 things with him, then you lock 2 more things with that at the end. So yeah, pretty decent. It's not that essential in playtesting the deck with this card, but I do like it. It's a nice take on making the break ride do stuff, and then making the Stride do stuff on your turn, whereas the break ride does stuff to mess the opponent's field up at the end of your turn. So next, 4 Lanthanum. Just pretty staple card in a deck that likes to lock multiple, like 2 or more targets per turn. And then 2 of the AK vanilla star, or it's not Star-vader, but two binary star. People probably wonder why he's in here. Well, because this guy is an 8K. That way this guy can hit 16. So 2 of him. You can potentially even run like 3 of that thing if you want, and then 3 of him. That might be a little bit more consistent, because I am running 4 of these, but you know, it's kind of like my Gurgura deck. For the trigger lineup, it's the classic Star-vader Link Joker style. It's a 6 draw and the 6 critical. Link Joker is one of the few clans that can get away with running less criticals, because their opponent, they basically prevent the opponent from using grade 2s to attack them and intercept, so they have more card advantage. They can draw more cards and keep pace with the opponent, like stacking stuff in their hand. So then 4 heals, and of course, like I said earlier, the starter is Star-vader Dust Tail Unicorn. He's good because if you're not using the Legion, he works with the Break Ride or even the Stride to triangle lock. So that's why I'm running this guy. For the Stride lineup, it's pretty straightforward. 2 Death Star Vader, Quintessence Dragon. When he's placed on V, you can Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. If you have a Heart with Infinite, choose a regard on the opponent's front and back row and lock them. Then if the number of cards in your damage zone is 4 more, those cards get Omega Lock. So if it's a Limit Break, if you're at Limit Break and you're striding him, those cards are Omega Locked, which is really nice. If not, then you just lock 2 things and you're reducing their attacks. Next, 2 Big Crunch Dragon, so I can run Big Crunch. I only have 2. A lot of people run 4. I know how good he is. Yeah, he's good. And then 2 Judgment Messiah. Not really all that essential to the deck, honestly, but like I said, like the nice thing about him is when he hits, you can choose a rigger on your opponent's back row, lock it, and then choose up to one locked card and unlock it. Up to means 0 or 1, so he doesn't have to unlock anything, for those wondering. And then 1 Maximum Seal Dragon, because I don't really have anything better. And then Madu. You can run Blizza if you don't want to run Seal Dragon. But however, I do want to point out that in the Infinite build, because you tend to lock like 3 things on a turn, you can potentially stride him with the Legion play. If you lock 2 with Legion, with the Legion skill, and you Omega lock them, then on the next turn, you can stride into him, and he'll be a minimum of 36k for Counterblast 1, plus the boost, so he'll be like 41. So he's still pretty good without having to wait until late game like Blizza to be really tough. So, and he doesn't waste flipping up a stride unit unnecessarily, because the deck doesn't run any GB2 Vanguards, so Blizza's not that important. I feel like Seal Dragon 1 is good enough. So that's basically it. Infinites are a relatively fun deck. I do like the way they brainstorm these type of cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed that deck profile video. Let me know what you think about Infinite. If you think they're gonna make like more Star-vader support in the future that's Infinite focused as opposed to Chaos focused. It's kind of weird how they kind of separated Chaos and Infinite. Kind of like what happened with Tetra Drive and Transcore, they got separated out as well. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that video, and as always, stay tuned for more on the next time. And if you haven't already, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of these videos. I do encourage you to subscribe to my channel, it does help me out. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.